Do I need an opening catchphrase? Like a hello and welcome to Overly Complicated Coffee? So, I love coffee with all my heart and soul, but during isolation, I am isolated away from home. So I have none of my nice coffee stuff, none of my blends, none of my grinders, none of my different pots and pans and stuff. And where I'm staying, by the sea, all I have is a cafetiere. So over the past couple of weeks, I've worked out how to make something close to a decent cup of coffee with crappy ingredients. So I thought I would share how I make a half decent cuppa with subpar ingredients. First up, I thought I'd show like just a normal black coffee, and then maybe later I've worked out a cool way to make like a frothy like cappuccino kind of thing, and I'll work out how to make a mocha if these go well.
Can we wait a second, because Annie keeps on running around, I have her in a shot whilst you... We can still see you.
You saw me?
Yeah, of course.
Oh no.
It's like, why?
I'm so sorry. I did my best.
First up, the most important part of coffee is your coffee. And there's no good coffee anywhere around here, so it is co-op value fair trade coffee. We've got a spore blend, which is stronger than normal, but it'll do. And it's been kept in an old Dolmio jar. Normally you want to buy beans and grind them fresh, because that's where all the flavour starts to get released, but there's nowhere around here that sells any beans, and I don't have my grinder. So we've got some co-op value, it's a 4 blend, which is a pretty medium roast, and you want to aim for about like 18 to 20 grams. It's being super anal about this stuff, but 18 to 20 grams, you'll be amazed at how much that actually changes the flavour of the coffee. I'm just doing this straight into the cafetiere. There we go, 20 grams, which looks like that much. And then, obviously, boil the kettle. Should have pre-boiled it. Ooh. So, kettle's boiled, and now we wait longer because only an idiot pours a boiling hot water over coffee. That burns the coffee. Kettle's boiled, we left it to sort of cool down a bit, which means we're going to bloom the coffee. If you don't know what blooming is, it's slightly wetting it, enough that it's not actually going to float or anything like that. I do need a spoon. Do you have a spoon? So this is just getting like the coffee wet. I actually put a little bit more. This isn't to actually wet the coffee, it should come out as this sort of like sludgy consistency. It just sort of opens up the coffee. And genuinely doing this makes the coffee taste about 1 billion times better, even if it is a cheap, co-op blend. Sponsored by Co-op. So you leave the coffee to bloom for 40 seconds to a minute-ish. Just let it sit there, let it start to open up, and it's more waiting. It's a patient game. So 40 seconds worth of blooming, and then you just top the rest up. You can be like super fancy about it, and if you pour the water onto the spoon as you pour it down, it fans it out, which means you don't burn the coffee, but also means that, as you'll see in a second, it sort of bubbles the coffee a bit more, which helps create that foam, which I love. You know what you get like with like Nespresso stuff? You get that layer of cream on the top. You can actually get that normally as well, if you do it right. So let's be super fancy about it. Oh, there it is. And as you stir it, this is the fun bit, and the bit that I worked out recently. If you keep stirring it, the granules of the coffee kind of move to the side, which means when you stop, you can scoop that bit of cream off and into the glass. Because basically, when you use a cafetiere, when you plunge it, you'll just kill all of that cream that you create, and none of it will come through the filter. But when you do this, you can collect this foam on the top. Make sure if you stir it, you scrape it off immediately off the stir, because otherwise you get like a super bitty coffee, and it's like drinking sand, basically. And if you keep doing this 4,000-5,000 times, nah, see, I'm starting to pick up granules now. Can't really do it. So it means that you get this. Oh, how are we going to be able to be seeing this? Is that working? Mm-hmm. Can you see the little foam? We've also got a few bits of coffee in there, which makes me look bad, but hey hey. Now you've got the foam separate to the coffee, normal cafetiere stuff. You just slowly push it down. And now obviously when you're pouring the coffee, don't pour it directly onto the foam. You'll again get rid of it. You want to pour it underneath. Okay, you want to pour it like onto this part of the glass. Pour it sideways onto the glass, onto the side of the glass, so it pours down and underneath the foam, And as I'm sure you can see with our amazing camerawoman, excuse me.
Thank you.
This has been, at best, a mediocre attempt. Never pour the rest out because this is a terrible cafetiere and it doesn't stop all the beans, all the grind. So if you keep doing it, you'll end up with like a Greek-style coffee where you get that sludge at the bottom. But there is an awesome cup of coffee made with terrible ingredients. Oh, I almost forgot. Sponsored by Biscoff.